Hello, welcome back to my YouTube. Thank you for being here. I'm excited, just clearing some of the energy out so the messages can come through even clearer. And this month, we have a lot going on. There's a lot circulating in. And in the beginning of the month, we're kind of in this transitional period where we're moving out of what the month of September was all about, where we are integrating into a higher awareness, where we are integrating into higher energies. And yet we're also kind of like moving through that finalization of the purification process that we saw in September. And so this is reaching kind of completion on October 17th. And up until that point, we can kind of feel this wobble, this imbalance, where we're being encouraged to find this balance within ourselves of our head and our heart and our soul and our intuition and our logic and our masculine and our feminine energies. And this is encouraging us to have a balance within the way that we're releasing and the way that we're syncing energies. So this is helping us move forward because activations of new energies incoming throughout our lifetime are never going to cease, and neither is the clearing and the purging of the old, because there is always going to be something that's outdated or no longer necessary. And we are entering into a period of new soul lessons where maybe you have tried circling back to the old, or maybe you have seen those new or those old soul lessons reappear and you're kind of like, all right, I'm done with this. I understand it. I get the point. Can we just move on? And that's where this release process is needed and necessary, because as we step into new soul lessons, as we progress, that release is always necessary from the physical body, from the mental body, from the emotional body, and etc. And so we're learning to find this balance this month between all of it, learning to balance the integration and activation of new energies and the release of the old energies, learning when we need to slow down, learning when we need to rest, and then learning when it is time to move, learning when it is time to take action, learning when it is time to follow our intuition. It's almost the balance between the receiving mode and the action mode. And there's something that's been building behind the scenes, building behind the scenes within this energy. And it's almost like filtering out the energy of what no longer serves and then building something new in its place. So this month, as we're kind of navigating to the middle of October, we might still not have that clarity, or there might be this imbalance, especially with the October 6th Libra full moon. This moon is energizing us. New moon. I don't know if I said full moon, but I meant to say new moon. Both moons actually, so we have an Aries full moon at the end of the month as well. And both of these moons are energizing us. They're helping us to initiate change, transformation, and kind of move into a deeper level of awareness within who we are and giving us this transformation. October is all about transformation. We went through an ending, a period of closure, a period of tying up the loose ends with September. And that bleeds in a little bit to the beginning of October, but then it's all about transformation. And that requires action, that requires change, that requires us to face our fears, that requires us to get really in tune and in touch with who we are at our depths. And so as we're beginning to move into this momentumous energy, there is energy building. There's energy being activated, but yet there can still be that old energy still present where that's creating this indecisiveness. That's creating the dilemma. Well, do I really move forward with this? Do I really do that? Because what if it doesn't work out? The doubt, the worry, the shame, and the fear are all cleansing and clearing during the beginning of this month. And we're integrating into a new way of trust. And trust is a huge thing as we move into October. We have to be reliant on our senses, trusting our own senses as they are heightened during this period of time, trusting our own intuition as we take the training wheels off and learn to navigate by ourselves. That's the kind of energy where we may have been approaching this precipice moment within our lives at a collective level, and we may not be able to clearly see how we're supposed to move forward from a logic, from a reasoning level. And that's where going behind the scenes and trusting our sensations, our feelings, in the body, our intuition and how it shows up in our body is necessary to navigating this month. And that is really teaching us to get in tune and in touch with the deeper essence of who we are and our truth. And so this is activating this month our true self and our purpose, because the more that we begin to see and search outside of ourselves, the more, as you've most likely found at this point, things just aren't adding up. Things just aren't making sense. And you've most likely tried to go back into what was, and it doesn't feel the same. It's not aligned anymore. And so there can be a lot of that movement in the beginning of October as well, where we're going back to old things, trying to move forward because nothing else seems to be moving, or there isn't that total clarity on how to move forward. And we eventually find that we cannot move backwards any further, that we have to move forwards. And that requires us to move in a different way than we have before. That requires us to move within in order to create the trajectory and path externally. We love when dogs chime in and try to distract us. There can be a lot of that. There can be some distractions that come in externally this month, where there's things stirring, where there's things shaken up, where there's a change, where there's a shift within your external world. But yet you're able to clearly see through it when you're in tune and in touch with the internal navigation system of your intuition. So this is not taking the surface level of things. This is about looking behind the surface. This is about looking beyond and behind the scenes to see what's unfolding and to navigate from that standpoint. This is opening up the third eye. This is also opening up the heart space. This is also opening up the sacral chakra and the root chakra. So we're going through this it kind of pulses back and forth. So as we're entering into the beginning of October, into October 17th, there is this heart and throat clearing. And there then shifts into the second portion, leading into the October 17th, this sacral, root, and third eye kind of clearing and activation and syncing. We're resyncing, we're retuning, recalibrating still in the beginning of October. And then there's this energy, this momentum where things move clear. So in the beginning of the month, there can still be this past energy present with the new energy that's revealing, confusing us, making us conflicted, bringing us into this back and forth kind of hold. And this is where we have to choose what's true and right for us and what feels good to us now. What feels good, what had felt good in the past is no longer going to serve us. And so we're discovering that, and we're beginning to move forward to know who we are now at a deeper level. This is almost divine redirection in a sense, where our plans may not be going correctly and accordingly, but yet there's something else unfolding. There's some other plan that's better unfolding for us. And this requires us to kind of see behind the surface level of things, to tap in and tune into our intuition to navigate us forward. And when we go within ourselves, the clarity, the understanding, the truth, the pathway forward is there. So there is a little bit of this going within and this energy to take that space. And that's where this balance of energy comes into play, where we're learning how to know when it's time for us to retreat and go within ourselves and spend this time alone, and then when it's time to sort of come out of that and put that into actionable steps and momentum and movement and come out into the world. So things are moving inside of us and then coming externally, versus before they were going externally and then internally. The flow of energy and the navigational energies that are coming through us now are going to be what guides us forward, versus to create a new world, to create a new pathway. And so that's what's happening. This is new creative energy that's opening and blossoming within us. And there's a deeper level of truth, a deeper level of wisdom that's being revealed during this month. And it's almost accessing this light within us and allowing that to guide the way into the external forward. So within, so without, meaning that we're correcting we're correcting the flow of energy. So the way that our energy is meant to be working in the world, the way that we're meant to be connecting with the flow of energy within this lifetime is through us and then external. So it comes through us first and then it materializes externally. But yet we've been reversed. We've been external and then pulling inward, which has confused, conflicted, and misaligned us from our path. Many of us, at least the large majority of the population and the collective as a whole and our planet. So this is helping with the reversal of the energy to correct it. So there's this counterintuitive way of moving at first. This jolt of kind of like, what am I doing? Where am I going? How do I navigate when I don't know? Things seem foreign, but we're learning to navigate in a new way this month. We're learning to adjust. We're learning to find that balance, and we're learning to move into that flow and to trust it a little bit deeper and add this sort of more aware understanding of it all. And that comes with this internal understanding, internal awareness. So there can be this period where we feel this need to kind of come within ourselves, and then periods where we really want to externalize things. And so there's also this clearing or breakthrough of the illusions and transforming spaces of illusion into truth. So at a collective level, we're going to see things come to light, where we are transforming them. We are innovating them. We are creating something new out of the old by illuminating what is true and what is not true. And therefore being able to see clearly this pathway forward. This comes with the institutions of the collective. This comes with political essences of the collective. This comes with rules, regulations, laws, health, wellness, all sorts of things. This comes personally and collectively. So what's going to be happening is things will be revealing. Truth is being revealed in order to bring transformation into outdated spaces. This is directly working with us, especially within this realm of relationships as well, where we can feel this need to transform the way that we work and operate within relationships at all levels. That's something that's going to continue through the month of October, where we're finalizing kind of this work that we saw in September, where we were working on sort of clearing this pathway. We were opening and expanding this heart, and now we're able to move to the next level in October around relationships, and the depth of our relationships are changing, are shifting. And now it becomes something or rather where we look and examine our relationships and say, can I grow within this relationship, or have I grown all that I can within this relationship? And we're approaching it from more of a lighthearted space where there isn't this depth, intensity, and obsession that we may have saw in September, where it's now shifting and it's changing, and it's almost beginning to see the journey and the experience that we share with others, the journey and experience that comes with connecting with other people. And we may really enjoy, it's almost like sampling. We're getting used to who we are at our depth and our core, and we're entertaining new kinds of relationships. We're experimenting and enjoying, kind of trying new experiences. And there's this sense of adventure, there's this sense of playfulness, there's this sense of joy that kind of comes into the second half of October, where we see this happening, where we're trying new things, where we're, engaging with new people, where we're kind of going this new pathway, which is what this is all about, with this divine redirection, and where we're having more confidence and courage to kind of move in that way and follow our intuition. So there may be more of this idea of like, oh, this is coming through. I wonder what would happen if I followed this. And then we just jump, we just leap, we just go, we just do it. And it's more of this fun, fulfilling adventure rather than this tight, closed gripped essence of control. And we're learning how to let go of that control, to enjoy the process a little bit more, to get used to what is truly aligned and what's really not at this phase and at this point. So the beginning half of this month is more about this internal reflection. This is really about going within ourselves. And then towards the middle to end of October, there's this coming out. There's this exploration. It's like, okay, now that I know who I really am inside of myself and I'm getting to know myself at this deeper level, then comes this interaction with the world around me of where there's this excitement and enticement to kind of go a new pathway, try different things, hang out with people you never hung out with before, meeting new people, new adventures, visiting new places, where there's a little bit more of this expansiveness within who we are and the opportunities that come to us. Things that maybe we would have been closed off to before. Things and people that we maybe wouldn't have been open to before. Now we're seeing this opening, this expansiveness within us where we're able to navigate correctly and accordingly to what's truly aligned to us. A lot of the times the universe, it's like they try to bring in what's aligned to us previously, but if we are so out of alignment with our truth and who we really are and the conscious awareness of that, it's like sometimes we can say no to things and people that maybe are really, really aligned to us, but we don't on the surface think they are, because of this facade of who we have been and who we are. And so this is sort of breaking through that all and really helping us to align with a deeper level of who we are and what we desire and experience kind of this sampling or this adventurous energy around exploring and trying new things to see what fits and what doesn't fit now. And that's where we can see sometimes this reappearance of old opportunities, old connections, old situations where maybe they were aligned, but we just weren't aligned with ourselves. And so there's this circling back of some old energies that we are reconnecting to, now aligned. And so there can be reconciliations, there can be aha moments, there can be a reconnection to something that we, were connected to in the past. And you can trust what's revealing during this month. You can trust what's coming through this month. And this is all about really getting to the core and essence of who we truly are, really honing in on this essence of deeper value within our being. And it's moving us into a deeper level of self-acceptance, self-understanding, and opening a deeper level of wisdom and philosophy within us. And with this, it's almost giving us the understanding and clarity for how we're supposed to be moving forward, how we're supposed to be connected to our spiritual self and spiritual side. So there can be almost a death and rebirth during this month. There can be shifts, there can be changes that maybe we did not expect, but there are navigating us back to our truth and reconnecting us back to the curiosity, the fun, the playfulness, the adventure that life is meant to be, rather than this anxious sort of attachment to what we have. This is teaching us to exchange what we have had in order to bring in something new, something more aligned for us now, something more aligned to where we're going. And this is carrying us into the rest of the year and even further into 2022 and into an eclipse energy that hits in April, May of 2022, and the eclipse energy that happens in October, December. So pay attention to the themes that come up for you in this month. We could be seeing a lot of 10-10s, 12-12s, 12-21s during this month as we are leaping into a new life cycle, leaping into the infinite possibilities of life, and we have the scans in space to recreate our life, to recreate ourselves, to rewrite the script. And so this is sort of helping us do that. This momentum, this energy that's building and progressing throughout the month may feel like it's pushing us into something that we don't quite know what it is yet, that we don't quite have the big picture on yet, where we may not be able to see everything clearly, where we may not really understand at a conscious, logical level. And that's where our senses, our intuitive self is coming to the forefront, where we're asked to navigate with that at the forefront. And we may be pushed into things before we feel ready, where we may be pressed to make a decision where we're still sort of stuck in this mental space. This is helping us to get out of the mental space and to really dive into our heart space and our feelings, our sensations, our intuitive senses, and to really feel through our bodies, through our essence, what's right and wrong for us. So paying attention to like what energizes us versus what drains us is going to be a great way to navigate during this month. What gets us excited? What are we passionate about? What is giving us energy? What is driving us? And what is sort of pushing us back? And we're being able to see from this higher perspective. We're being asked to see from this higher perspective to kind of pull ourselves out of the drama and the confusion and the confliction. And really what the confliction is it's like the intuition battling with the head, with the mind. So when we allow the mind to take this back seat and we really just jump and leap and say, okay, I'm going to trust whatever I'm feeling and just see what happens, and not coming from this failure or success standpoint, or coming from this loss or win, fail standpoint, or failure standpoint. There is no failure at this time. This is a time of experimentation. This is a time of going into our fear and discovering what's there. This is the time of entering into the other side of what has yet to be explored within our personal selves, but also that leading us to what's been left unexplored within our lives and our world. This is about reconnecting and retuning to aspects of ourselves that have remained hidden, and then being awakened through creative essences and changes within our external experience and world. So there's a new essence of creative energy that's emerging. There's a new energy around how we move forward. And there's a new, it's almost like reinvention of how we have operated, kind of unfolding before us this month. There's also the energy around the pericardium coming into play. So our pericardium is this energy that protects the heart space. And this is what is energetically happening during this month, where we're being asked to let go of this guard. And this is the sinking point of our emotional energy and our action-oriented energy, our emotional energy and our sexual energy. So again, sexual energy, Kundalini awakenings, the back pain, neck pain, sort of this rising within the body and clearing this pathway within the body to heal heartbreak, to heal this energy of trust within us is kind of coming forward during this month. And there's, a right and left ventricle, there's a right and left, cavity of the heart space. And the pericardium encompasses both. It protects both. It unifies both. It brings them and holds things together and stabilizes it all. And so with the with the energy regarding the pericardium and the highlight of it within this month, this is the bridging of the masculine and the feminine energies within us and the stabilization of that. That's where we're finding this balance. So energetically speaking, we may have the heart flutters, the anxiety. We may feel this sensation within our arm, kind of down the arm, numbness, tingling, circulatory issues, so really cold fingers, cold arms, cold feet. And we may experience, once again, increased sexual energy in certain portions of time where we are expanding this energy. And we're reclaiming and redefining this energy. and where there's this energy that we're beginning to pull into utilization, where we're bridging, again, this action-oriented energy or the physical act of sex with the emotions or with the intuitive self. So we can see a lot of unions within relationships this month, within new relationships. And again, this is something that's fun, that's playful, that's driving us forward. There's also a lot of unions with our physical self, our physical being. So it's the spiritual self and the physical being. And then more so than anything, we love to get caught up in the relationships and everything like that. But really at the core essence of it all is the union of our spiritual self with our physical body, with the intuitive self with the physical self, with the intuitive guidance and the physical action and drive. Sexual energy is creative energy. It's what births new realities. It's what births new structures. It builds and monetizes new materials within our world. If it can give birth to a baby life, think of what else it can birth within your physical space and reality. So it's almost about utilizing that energy, utilizing this sexual creative energy to drive us forward towards what we're passionate about. And this month is all about passion. It's all about passion. It's all about the senses. And so it's utilizing your passions as this navigator, as this driving force of creation in your world and in your life. And with the energy of this pericardium, it's almost like allowing ourselves to trust that passion, allowing ourselves to trust in the goodness, because oftentimes we can have doubt, we can have trust issues with trusting something. It's almost like, oh, this is too good to be true, or oh, that must be a scam, or oh, that must be whatever. And so pay attention to how it feels within your body. If it lights up and is excited within your body, within your physical space, within your chest, if it's expansive and energizing, then you can trust it. If there's this like, oh no, I don't know if that's right or correct, not up here, but in here, that's how you can decipher between the two. This is also knowing that we don't need to protect ourselves, that we don't need to protect or guard our heart space. Our heart is what is guiding the way during this time. But yeah, we have to release and let go of the guard, and we have to allow ourselves to break that down and be vulnerable in order to be open to receiving what comes next for us, and in order to be receiving and understanding the clarity of how we are meant to move forward, and so on and so forth. So energetically, there's a lot happening within that pathway and within the circulation, sex pathway or meridian within the body, and the way that the energy flows through that. This could also be creating hip issues, legs, like heaviness within the legs, uncomfortability, performance syndrome. So performance syndrome is this line that goes kind of down the outside of the thigh, down into the knee, along the hip. There could be some pain in there during this month. And again, the back, the low back, more pain in there. And essentially, this is the energetic essence of how it affects the body. And in that chest, down into the arms, down into this middle finger. And this is about creating the stability and foundation within ourselves so that we don't feel like we need to protect ourselves from the world, that we can be open and safe in that openness, all at the same time. A lot of the times we've been operating under the understanding that it comes like with a double-edged sword, in the sense that you can be open, but then if you're open and if you're vulnerable and you lead with your heart, that you automatically are susceptible to getting hurt or to things not going accordingly, and then let down, loss, and so on and so forth, which has affected our trust in ourselves, our knowing, our intuition. So that's kind of what we're working on healing and establishing. And then we'll just pull some cards and see what is going on here. feel like some people are moving through throat chakra clearings right now, because immediately my throat chakra is just... And we have tons of portals this month as well. We're in the middle of, this is day 4 of an 11-day portal series. Each of them is a progressive energy. So the first 11 all connect and interconnect and sort of build and bring in more momentum. It's like adding something to the previous portal and then adding something to that portal, and they all connect. And that information on the in-depth portals and all of that, I talk more about that on Instagram, but the full portal timeline is on Patreon. I will include the link in the description box to Patreon with the physical body sensations and ascension symptoms. If you are not grounded, you will have a difficult time navigating this month. You'll have a difficult time with your body, and that is why I created the Ascension protocol to help us understand how to clear these pathways within the body. And I'll put the link in the description box for that. So if you're somebody that experiences a lot of physical symptoms and you've been experiencing the physical symptoms, the chest pain, the chest sensitivity, there could even be like chest congestion, increased mucus, ear ringing, feeling like there's fluid in the ears, almost like a sadness, a grief, a depression, feeling lost, feeling ungrounded, vertigo, again, the radiating back pain, and like stiffness within the lower joints. That's you. I would grab the Ascension Protocol ebook because it'll help you understand how to supplement yourself and your body to avoid those symptoms. We love when the cards just kind of tell us, reaffirm everything. They're fun though, and these ones are really cute. And I feel like they're very aligned to October. Anything else the collective needs to know regarding October? Yeah. Let's organize them a little bit. Okay, so first and foremost, let's go at the beginning. It's like even the cards kind of go with this beginning energy of the month. You can see like this clear split within the energy of the cards as it sort of moves through this month as well, like we kind of talked about. So there's Witch at the End of the World. These cards are so cute and they're so on point for this month. But an important end and a new beginning. So again, there's a closure. There's a need to release and let go of the past behaviors, past beliefs, past people, past patterns, and what has been known in order to open up this new door. You can't see where you're going. You can't see where you're headed now until you close those doors. This is the time to sort of be brave and courageous and close the doors, not knowing what comes next for you, but feeling into the energy that there's something new, there's something bright, there's something shining on the other side of this all. This is also bringing breakthroughs and healing within our body, within our physical self, something that's been holding us back for a while, seeing how her arms are crossed. This is something that Angel of Alchemy, again, we're transforming what has been our wounds of our past into the essence and gold of our future. This is about transforming what has been in the hurts of the past into the knowledge, understanding, clarity, and wisdom that we're moving forward with, that opens these new doors, where we have the clarity and understanding of how to navigate forward because we've already experienced this in the past. This is also about being able to heal something or move beyond something that has happened. It's like finally breaking through, finally moving through something, finally having this healing moment. Whatever wound, whatever trigger, whatever you needed to be healed, that's like keep circling around. And that's where the three fates, what comes around energy, kind of comes through here. We'll come back to this card as well, but there's something that's continuously like come around. So in the beginning of the month, you could be facing that indecisiveness, this like feeling stuck or not knowing the decision to make because you're debating between that old energy and this new energy. And there's finally this breakthrough moment that's able to be had, where there's this healing and there's the full breakthrough of that energy and the alchemy of the karmic lesson. So something that's been cyclic for you, finally transforming into something new. And then we also have Violet Duchess, stifled, bored, and stuck. We love her. Yeah, so if you've been stifled, if you've felt bored, if you felt stuck, there's something moving through you. There's a healing that's happening that's coming from the energy of going within and connecting with spirit, and allowing yourself to come into the clarity of what's been holding you back, to finally move through this, to finally have this breakthrough, to finally get momentum and movement happening, to finally move beyond where you have been and transform this blockage into a pathway that opens and awakens something within you. Again, this is about transforming something that's been old, something that's been overdue, into something that's new, and finally beginning to move forward. And again, in the beginning of this month, we have Pink Lotus Fairy, a time for spirit. This is a time of going within. This is a card that indicates connecting to your spiritual self, to your spiritual truth, spending time alone, slowing down, going within, and allowing yourself to connect to the inner essence and being within you, allowing the intuitive guidance to shine through you, and allowing that to be this navigational system and awareness that helps you break through what has stagnated you, what has been holding you back, what has kept you stuck, what has kept you bored. And it also inspires us. It inspires us to move in a new way. It inspires us to create in a new way. Our spiritual connection is our creative connection. And so again, we're connecting to that creative energy. And there's the cycle that's ending. There's something that's coming to an end. There's something that's coming to a closure. Also with this card, the Three Faiths, it's almost like something's ending. Something's getting cut short. Something's getting cut. And so there could be things leaving, or again, things not working out as you planned, and a divine redirection happening during this month. But this also, there's two energies coming through with this for the collective. So if you're somebody that really needs to cut ties with those bad behaviors, old mindsets, old patterns, and just do it already, like to just create that change, to just let it go. Whatever weight you've been carrying, you need to let it go. It's like there's no more time to hang on to the things that are safe and that have kept you small. It's time to move beyond them. Let them go. Just let them go. And whatever cycles have been continuing in your life, it's time to move beyond them. But also with this energy, I'm seeing karmic repayment. It's like something coming around. Okay, so there's three meanings. There's something coming around here for somebody that has been doing, for those that have been doing this work, that have been moving diligently through it. It's like the karmic repayment coming back around to you. Something is circling back around to you. So if you've been showing up for yourself and for others, and you have been really devoting yourself to service and your connection to spirit and sort of doing this internal work and internal healing, there's something coming back through. If you had to let go of a lot of friends, if you had to let go of a lot of other people and you felt really alone or misunderstood, or you've let go of a job and you haven't really had that direction or clarity on where to go next, it's like there's something new coming in from that. There's something coming to you and being rewarded for this sacrifice and this release. The other energy that's coming through with this card is that there's somebody or something or someone that keeps coming in. There's something that is reappearing for you during this month. There's something that's coming back in, and this is your time to change the way that you respond to it and to choose a new direction. It's almost like I'm seeing a group of people who are continuously saying yes to something, or continually allowing somebody back into their life, or continually just bypassing whatever is happening, what's going on, to try and keep the peace. And it's almost like you can't do that anymore. You have to finally speak your truth, and you have to finally set your boundary and say, this is not what I want. This is not what I deserve. This is time to end the cycle. And finally saying no. It's like finally saying no, finally ending this, finally putting it to rest, to allow this new pathway to be revealed to you so that you can move beyond where you've sort of been stuck or stagnated. There's also this Marie masquerade, glamour, intrigue, and drama coming through. So again, this ties to the drama or the chaos of the surface. So where are you getting caught up in the drama or the chaos, or how things look? This is all about how things look. Where are you getting caught up within the drama of your head space? Where are you creating the disconnect and the illusions within your own mind, within your own mental space? Where are you creating the fear within your own mental space? Where are you creating the circumstances and understanding of where you're meant to be and how you're meant to move forward? Are they being created by this internal self, this clear, peaceful communication within your inner being, or are they being created by the chaos of this inner world, this need to rush, figure it out and hurry up? Specifically getting a lot of people who are transitioning in the job space. It's almost like there's this pressure to try and figure it out, and getting caught up in all of the rush and the drama of the world of like, okay, there's also a lot of like speaking out, or like getting caught up in the ego that's transforming during this month. So the ego is rebirthing and transforming during the beginning of this month, and we can get caught up in the drama of being right or this person being wrong and judgment. But we really need to release that in order to come into the connectivity of our inner being and essence, and in order to guide us forward. So this is stopping and removing ourselves from the drama. This is also, no longer playing victim to our own life, seeing clearly that we are the creator of our own life, letting go of the victim stories, victimhood, and dramatics, and allowing ourselves to just move forward, to move on. It doesn't have to be that hard. There doesn't have to be this struggle. We don't have to create this drama in the times of change. Change can be really easy and fun if we allow it to be. And so this is that energy around that. This is also about not taking things from the surface level, looking beyond the surface to find and see the truth, not getting caught up in the intrigue of how things look or the drama of how they appear on the surface, not reacting to the surface level of things, but going to a deeper level and understanding to see what's really going on, what's really happening, what's really emerging. There's also this faceless ghost and the haunted girl, ghost people. So this energy is about not wearing masks anymore, taking off the masks. Where are you still pretending to be someone that you're not? Where are you still pretending to be like the other people that you're hanging out with? Where are you still trying to, it's like this energy goes together in a sense of like, where are you still entertaining the cycle of holding on to people, environments, places, and things where you're having to put on this act, where you're having to put on this mask, where you're entertaining the drama of life, where you're entertaining the drama of others. Watch where you're creating drama. But this is also pretending to be someone you're not. Where are you still pretending to be someone you're not? Where are you feeling as if you have to alter yourself in accordance to who you're with or your environment? Because this is preventing you from moving forward. This is preventing you from stepping into that cycle, and that's the continuation of that cycle. This is what's keeping you bored, stifled, and stuck. A lot of the times we can create drama, we can create these stories, we can put on these masks, we can play the game. We can play the game of life and of the matrix in order to have some sort of entertainment. And a lot of the times the ego does that for entertainment. So we have to kind of embrace calm and peace, which feels really foreign to us. So we create drama. So we put on these different masks and create these different situations and scenarios to create some sort of ego entertainment. But we really need to let go of that this month to allow this deeper understanding of our truth and who we really are. It's like stripping back the layers to get to the core of who we are and not putting them back on, not feeling as if we have to put them on. and letting that vulnerability be exposed to the world. And that's where that part, the energy around the pericardium is coming through. We have Men of Broken Heart Fairy, healing from heartache. So again, we're healing our heart space. We're learning how to strip back all of these layers and be fully exposed and raw in our truth in the world and be like, screw it, this is who I am. I don't have to protect myself anymore. I don't have to hold on to the past hurts and pains and allow them to prevent me from being who I really am in the world. And this is around friendship. This is around connection in a way where maybe we're just playing along, where maybe things don't feel aligned with these people anymore, but yet we're playing along because we're afraid. We're afraid that if we let this person go, if we let these people go, what will happen, how they will react, the drama, but also that no one else will be there to replace them. And so that we'll be alone, that we will be sort of alone. And so that's this big fear of the collective, is being alone, is not being connected, and not being recognized, not having connection. That plays a big role this month in connection to life, connection to materials, connection to a job, connection to purpose, connection to others. And so it's almost like if we really embrace our truth, if we really strip back the layers and we get honest and we really get truthful about who we are and what we're here to do, and we really allow ourselves to be exposed within the world, all of these illusions are dismantled, and that requires us to face this healing of our heart in order to trust, in order to remove that layer, in order to remove that guard, in order to expose ourselves to the world, in order to be vulnerable and allow ourselves to be seen, to be really seen, which a lot of us are scared of, but yet we really want all at the same time. It's kind of this duality. And then in the second half of the month, we have this energy. We might pull another couple of cards here just to end it. We have, and Kali Ma. Kali Ma is playing such a big role in our energy this month. She is the energy of October to a T. Kali Ma, if you're not acquainted with Kali Ma, you better be, because she's coming in strong. That's the whole energy of this month. She's about alchemy. She's about empowerment at the soul level. And what she does is she is really known for cutting heads off people and wearing heads around her neck. And what that represents, she's not known for killing people or death, although she is associated with death, but it's death of the ego. It's death of the untrue. It's death of how the ego tricks us into believing something that isn't right or aligned with our soul. So it helps shed back the layers of the ego, and in its place, we're allowed to see clearly. And in its place, we're allowed to transcend the illusions and reconnect and realign with our truth and our soul. And she's also known as the Divine Mother, as like the mother of all mothers. So it's this mothering, nurturing energy where we're experiencing this emotional essence of our heart space, but also seeing the strength, the power, and the willpower, and the knowledge, the wisdom that comes from that, and the knowing and the truth that stems from that, and the power to be okay with fully exposing that and seeing that nothing can touch us, nothing can harm us when we're in that space. And so we have, I am Kali, from death comes rebirth. So this is a rebirth, death period like we talked about. There are things ending, coming to an end, closing, falling away, layers that are being shed, things that are healing and releasing, that are no longer true and no longer aligned to us, that our ego has created in order to keep us safe. There's something that's healing that we're releasing and letting go of. There's a wound, illness, something from the past that we've been holding on to as who we are and what we're able to experience in life. And it's been limiting that experience. And now it's been holding us back. And now that we're reaching this point, we're feeling bored, we're feeling stuck because we're ready to move beyond it. And so Kali is this energy that comes through and says, okay, it's time to transform. It's time to embrace alchemy. It's time to trust that there is nothing to fear anymore. This is about moving into our fears and seeing the light that shines within us in the spaces of the darkness. We are the light that comes into the darkness and illuminates it and shows it for its truth. And so if you're not acquainted with Kali Ma, or if you do not handle change, if you struggle with change or where to begin with change, or you struggle with getting to the deeper levels of yourself, or there's something that's been holding you back. You felt stuck, you felt stagnant, and you're not really sure how to move through it. And you've been taking the actions and things aren't really moving forward the way that you'd like, and you don't handle change or transformation really well, check out the Kali Ma Transformational Workbook. That is high key something to check into and look into this month. I'll put the link in the description box, but essentially this is the energy. Kali is the energy of October, which is this fiery energy. It's what burns away the remnants of the past and takes the ashes and transforms them into something new, into something beautiful. And so this is about not being scared, because this energy can be intense. This energy is going to be intense, but intensity and passion aren't always a bad thing. And so we need to learn not to fear our own intensity, need to learn not to fear our own depth, need to learn not to fear our own transformations, and learning how to let go of the previous and past identities of ourselves, knowing that they can no longer serve us where we are going and where we are headed, and that they must die in order for the new self to be reborn. And then there's Fairy of the Highlands, a time to be brave, and Lantern Fairy, a clear solution. So there's something opening up, there's something guiding you, there's a light that's guiding you from within as you begin to step forward, and as you begin to take this pathway. It's almost taking it one step at a time. You may not know what's all of the steps because you've never been here before. This is transversing into a direction and into a new place, a new way, a new area of living, a new self that you've never experienced before because you've been held back by all of these fears. And this is the embracing of this bravery, of this courage, of cutting through the illusions in order to see clearly. There's something guiding us. There's something guiding us from internal. It's internal. It's the intuition. It's this knowing. It's this clarity. It's this sense. There's this sense that we can't quite put our finger on, and it's like, do this, go here, go there. It doesn't make it doesn't really make sense. But yeah, we're being asked to follow it and being asked to trust it. And again, we're being asked to be brave, to have that courage to cut through all of that fear, all of those illusions, and really begin to move into this new direction. There's solutions that are opening up. There's expansion that's happening for us. But it requires us to take a leap of faith. It requires us to let go of the old ways of doing things and to adapt to a new way of thinking, a new way of moving, a new way of operating. And so this requires the openness and expansion of our minds, which is also happening with this month. We're expanding and opening our consciousness at a new level and rate, which is shifting the way in which we move and is shifting the way in which we work in the external and with the external world. And so there's something opening up. There's something new that's being illuminated here. There's a solution to our issues and our problems, but it may not be what we expected. It may not look the way we thought it would, and it may require us to face our fears and to take a big jump and take a leap of faith. And it may require us to really trust ourselves, to trust in our connection, to trust who we are and where we're going. And know that we can't make the wrong decision. There is no right or wrong. I see a lot of people stuck in their headspace over, is this the right thing or is this the right thing? What does this mean? There's a lot of that pulling in from the collective energy. What does this mean? What do I do? Because what does this mean? Yay. This card kind of flipped over earlier, but I didn't know if it was. Yeah. Wings there, you see clearly, clairvoyance, and a clockwork pumpkin, a wonderful idea. The aha moment, the pumpkin is so in tune and in touch with this month. So basically with these two, this is illusions clearing. This is about being able to see truth for what it is. This is about seeing clearly. You're not mistaken. This is the right pathway. This is the way to go. You can trust. You can fall forward. You can be courageous, and you can trust the light that's continuing to guide you forward. You can trust the breadcrumbs that your spirit guides are leaving for you. I see a lot of signs and synchronicities coming in, almost like in breadcrumbs, step by step by step. It's like these little signs lead to this, and then you finally jump and you move into that, and then it's like, okay, what comes next? And then the signs and the little hints and the little clues are coming through intuitively. This is intuition. This is intuition guiding and leading us. This is seeing beyond the surface level of things and allowing the truth to transcend through us rather than observing things and operating in the way that we observe them. This is or react in the way that we're observing them. This is about going below the surface. This is about going deeper into the understanding of what's really happening, in which we have to tune in and connect with our spiritual self in order to do so, in which we have to connect and open up our hearts in order to do so, in which we have to open up and let go of all of the masks, all of the pretending, all of the illusions. And this is this time of really trusting our spiritual connection to guide and lead us forward. And with this aha moment, this clockwork pumpkin, it's like something that's been in the works for a while. This is something that's building momentum. This is something that's coming together. The pieces are coming together and things are beginning to move. Things are beginning to circulate. Things are beginning to drive forward. And it starts with the aha moment. A lot of the times when we receive this aha moment of clarity, of truth, where we're seeing things clearly, that's when we can take a step in the right direction. And that one step leads to the next step, and that next step leads to the next step, and the next step leads to the next step. And before you know it, we understand more clearly where we're going, where we're headed. And so that's kind of the progression of this month of what's going on and what's happening. It's a month of spiritual fortitude where we're really being asked to lean in, to trust, like to take the training wheels off. You know where you're going, you know the signs, you know where you're headed. It's like when you tune in and tap into your intuition, you know that you really don't need to be worried. It's these old beliefs, these old mentalities. You know that you're worthy and deserving of what you're really wanting. You know it's possible. It's just these old things that are kind of keeping that thought pattern there. Release it and let it go for something else to come through. And again, with this, there's something that's been coming together. It's like bringing all of the pieces together that you've been accumulating over the time. So there's a lot of downloads. There's a lot of things coming through which require us to take this space, which require us to sort of go within, which require us to sort of take some solitude in order to put them all together, in order to receive them. Journaling, writing down things that happen to just continue to show up in your life, taking note of the synchronicities, and sort of keeping a journal and log helps us to really actively ground and put all of those pieces together. So I highly encourage that during this month. Dreams have been purging and releasing at a deeper level of the connections of the past that no longer are serving us, but they're also giving us hints, clues, and oracles into the ways that we're going to be moving forward. So you may have had this really prophetic dream come through and you're not quite sure what it means or what to do with it. And there's one piece. And then you have this information of like, okay, I want to be working in this way and this job needs to go. It's like, okay, clear that pathway of the old job, release it. Okay, these are the people that I want in my life. These are the people that don't align to that. I'm clearing and releasing these people that don't align to that new energy of what I'm calling into my life. And there's this piece as well. And then this is the understanding this month, especially in the second half of the month, of it all coming together. This is the finalization moment where we're piecing together the information downloads and insight that we've been receiving over this time. This is a moment of clarity where everything that we've been moving through on an energetic level, so clearing, releasing, activating within the physical body that we've been feeling within the body, especially in the month of September and the beginning of October, we're beginning to actually have conscious awareness of this, where we're like, oh, that's what was going on. This is what's happening. This is what's opening. This is where I need to go. This is what I need to do. Okay, I get it now. Boom, I'm off. It's like all of the pieces coming together in order to move forward and into this trajectory of something new. This momentum is building into eclipse season, into November, December of the rest of this year. The rest of this year, there is no slowing down. It's back to back to back to back to back portals of energy, back to back to back to back momentum. And that's not to make you anxious. That's like the fact that we have been, for the most part, a lot of us have been bored, stuck, stifled, unmotivated, lacking that creative inspiration and energy to move forward. Kind of like, okay, restless, okay? The second half of the month, like whatever you need to do, go for it. This is the green light. Second half of the month, go, 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 go. Green light, trust that intuition. It's like downloading it, coming through you, and then just like going. There's also travel coming through for a lot of people during the second half of the month, or a move, or something around that, this whole month. Reconnecting and realigning with places and spaces that help you come to a deeper level of awareness within yourself. And there's a deeper understanding of where you belong within your career space for those that are transitioning in career. It's like the pieces are building, they're coming together. The opportunities are aligning again. The opportunities are aligning for you. It's like everything is lining up behind the scenes. And that's where this awareness and insight of kind of what's going on and what's happening and this energy shift that we're moving through is necessary and needed in order to really step forward. And so this is choosing to step forward. So during the month, you may be given a choice. There may be the options. There may be this choice. Okay, do you want this thing that you've already experienced, or are you really ready to jump into the new? You may not completely know what that new option is. You may not know what that new direction totally is, but the only way you're going to find out is taking that adventure. And by saying no to this, which you've already experienced multiple times, and that you're like, oh, okay. So it's like, do you want to be safe? Do you want to know what's happening? Do you want to like not experience challenges or uncomfortability? Do you want to stay comfortable? Or do you want to grow? And that's kind of the energy around this month. You're safe in your growth. You're still protected in your growth. And there's more that you can accept, and there's more available to you when you choose growth, because it is expansion. And when you expand yourself and you're no longer keeping yourself small, you can accept more. You can accept bigger things, bigger desires that you've been calling in. So if you're somebody who has been putting in some of the work, making some of the changes, doing some of the healing work, and again, putting in some actions towards what you truly desire, but yet you're doing things in a really small way where you're afraid to really invest X amount of dollars into your business. So instead, you're just going to do the smaller version of it. Or you are afraid to really let go of the relationship that's like kind of working out for you, is kind of the deepest thing you've ever known, but like there's still issues with it. But you're still playing small within the relationship because you think this is all that you can have or all that's available to you. Or you can move beyond it and trust that there is something more available to you. And so with that, it's almost like you have this choice. Do you want to stay small or do you want to expand? Because in that expansive state, you can have more room for freedom, for expansion, and to accept these bigger desires. So let's say you've been calling in more money into your life, but yet you're still playing small within that business, and you're making just enough, and you're making, just enough to get by, but you're like really wanting to go to the next level, and you don't know why you haven't broken through that barrier yet, why you haven't really been able to soar and skyrocket. Well, it's because you're still playing small. So if you want to go big, if you want to expand your energy, you gotta really trust and go all in with it without fear. If you're still in that relationship and you've been calling in this partnership and relationship that's truly aligned with who you are, and this relationship meets some of those needs, but it's missing things, but yet you're hanging on to it because you're scared that if you move beyond that relationship, there's going to be no one or nothing there. Well, then you're choosing to remain small. If you choose to release that relationship knowing that there's someone more aligned to you in all ways out there, that you really can have the person that has all of the things that you want, that they really do exist. They exist within that space that's out of your comfort zone in that expanded state. So this is pushing us into that expanded state lovingly, but it's pushing us there. But it's also doing it in a really exciting way. Towards the end of the month, like it's exciting. It should be more exciting, more vivacious, more playful, more adventurous, more curious. It's like, what can I discover in this other space that I haven't quite tapped into here in this known comfortability? This is about adventuring and playing in the unknown, and then seeing what happens and really seeing the expansiveness that happens in this space. I love you. I hope that you have a good month, and I will see you next month. Oh, it would be nice if I knew how to turn this off. Also, hello, Mercury retrograde. And it's 222. Anyways, thank you for being here. I love you.